Welcome back to Sochi. We're about to be joining the action down in the pit lane as the cars get ready to embark on their qualifying runs. With the rain falling here in Sochi, there'll be a few nerves from the drivers who'll be watching the weather closely before they pick their moment to go out on track. It's still a relatively new surface, but one that hasn't been well tested in these wet conditions.
Well, the drivers will be speaking to their engineers about the amount of rain and how long it's meant to last. Get it wrong now, and it could ruin their qualifying. I'm pretty sure either way, they'll be working on a combination of strategies.
Hey guys, how's it going on this year? Welcome to a new F1 2015 video on this channel. Continuing from the championship season, of course. We are here in Russia with rain pouring down in the qualifying session. In case you missed it, in the last video I said that Suzuka was a race which was missing. It was completely not recorded, and I sincerely apologize for that. I think I finished second in that race. It wasn't first, I'm sure about that. Honestly, I can't really remember what the results were like. I think Rosberg finished in front of us and Hamilton behind us. So in fact we lost a lot more points, or a few more points I should say, to Rosberg in the championship. And obviously the championship is my goal, and the last couple of races haven't been good. Rosberg, basically since Monza onwards I believe, Rosberg has been beating us the whole time, while he is the rival in the championship. Of course there are still plenty of races to go in the championship, including this one, Sochi. But you know, we need to stop the momentum which Rosberg is getting, and maybe it would be nice to start here. Honestly, for this race I did not want to finish any lower than Rosberg would, because if I'm going to lose points to Rosberg in this race as well, I'm gonna make life a lot harder for me than, of course, when I finish ahead of him. So full attack pretty much for this race, and try to score as many points as possible. Of course, a lot of things are still possible within the championship, of course. I mean, Rosberg can have a DNF and we can win. We would gain 25 points because of that. But still, I would rather not be dependable on mechanical failures for Rosberg, especially since the Mercedes is such a reliable and especially fast car, of course. So completing my lap here, lots of oversteer on the exit of the final corner, 151.019. But as always, the quickest times are usually set towards the end of the session. So here we go then. This is my second run, as the timer is about to run out. It's still pouring down with rain, so track conditions have not changed at all, I believe. But in this first sector I just somehow noticed that there was a lot less grip available. I even cut the corner a little bit over there. Sochi is one of those tracks, to be honest, where I am not as strict on corner cutting, as I brake way too late over here. But already at the end of the first sector I was down by a lot more than I honestly would expect. It only sets us up for P8 on the grid, and that is not a lot at all, especially when you compare the gap between us and the Mercedes.
The scenic Black Sea resort of Sochi, where this purpose-built track is described as one of the most impressive tracks on the Formula One calendar. Welcome to the Russian Grand Prix. We knew this was a track that suited the Mercedes well, but no one would have expected that Lewis Hamilton would have created such a gap to his rivals in qualifying. If he stays out of trouble and the car continues to perform, well, victory should surely be a formality.
He'll want to end this weekend on a high after yesterday's fantastic performance, but he's going to have a lot of competition. I doubt he'll be expecting an easy race, especially considering the teams around him.
Hoping to repeat his winning performance from the last Grand Prix will be Nico Rosberg. The German stormed home to a great victory, and he'll be looking for more of the same today.
Before his move to Mercedes, Nico Rosberg was always a driver that had a lot of potential. He left Williams because he wanted to drive a car capable of winning Grand Prix, and now he's got that. He's proven he's one of the best drivers out there.
So only P8, but honestly, chin up. The qualifying conditions were full wet. It is now dry. Maybe that's going to make a little bit of a change. We need a good start, however, and a run down to turn 2. Turn 1 is that little kink, I believe, which is not really a turn. Is going to be really important. We are off the line already, losing a couple of positions. That is not something weird. Our initial getaway was always poor, but right now it's about what I do in the first corner. Picking up slipstream and going on the inside of 2 Red Bulls there. And I think of Force India as well. A bit of contact made with Bottas, who was rather slow on the apex. And look at the exit speed here from the AI. So slow. especially Massa there on the left-hand side. He has the inside lane over here though, and compared to those Williams cars, the Ferraris, the Mercedes, in that long left-hander, you definitely notice that we have a lot less grip available than those guys. So I had to back out of it over there, especially on high fuel. Obviously we won't give up. Climbed up to P5, and I know that the AI, it takes some time for them to settle into their pace, especially on the first lap, and I can see Rosberg in P3. So we need to clear Massa ASAP before the top 3 disappears, and Hamilton is already in fact creating a massive gap to Hamilton, or sorry, to Vettel of course. So I can't afford Rosberg to overtake Vettel and then pull away as well. We have got to overtake Massa right now in order to stick with Rosberg. Maybe here's a good chance because we pick up a lot of slipstream. Massa wins the inside, of course. We go down to lean mixture. It's all about outbraking him, which I think I can do. Keep it within the wide lines as well of the track, which I did. So that's a nice move. But at the same time, Rosberg has overtaken Vettel. So it's not really the side I wanted to see. Going a little bit too much over the curb, to be honest, there. Cutting the track, but we'll get away with it. It's the first lap of the race and my first lap in the dry after being used to driving in wet conditions. You can hear just revving the engine a lot over there, trying to stick with Vettel, but mainly Rosberg as well. As I said, I really cannot afford Rosberg to finish once again ahead of us. Well, I can afford it, but it would make life so much more difficult for us. Vettel again having a look on the inside of Rosberg. Those guys are battling, which is good for us. Because side by side into the first corner, can we capitalize on the exit of the first corner? I'm just going to call it the first corner, fuck it. As we are on the inside of Rosberg here, he will have the inside line for the next corner. Can we keep it? I don't think so, no. He sweeps around the outside nicely. He has got the grip as well to do so. But you don't get me that easy. We take him back around the outside. He had to leave space over there, which he did. And up to P2 then. Too deep to this corner. Bit of oversteer as well. A few corrections with the wheel. Rosberg behind us. And I think it's actually yellow flag. Okay. Well, Hamilton is still racing, unfortunately for us. But yeah, Hamilton having a massive gap already. And because Hamilton had such a big gap, I pretty much know that Rosberg is going to be capable of creating a similar gap because he's driving a OP Mercedes as well, of course. So basically, I know right now I'm in front of Rosberg, but for the remainder of the race I'm gonna have to look at my mirrors pretty much. DRS hasn't been enabled yet, of course, will be enabled quite soon. Also gonna go a bit too much over the curb, to be honest, cutting the track a little bit. I really wish the game penalties would be more consistent over different tracks, so to say, because for example they've done a great job with Silverstone, to be honest, where the penalty system is a lot better than Sochi, this track for example. I wish there was some more consistency in that, but honestly it doesn't make a big impact on the series, of course. It's not like you can cut every single corner by 50 meters, or maybe you can, but I haven't experienced that really, or haven't experimented with that. Lap 3 of the race, however, and DRS has been enabled. Vettel goes for a move on Rosberg. He goes for a move on Nasr as well, right around the outside. What a brilliant move from Vettel. Can we get him back there around the outside? Oh, has he? Yeah, he didn't. I think he did leave just about enough space. Once again, we go too much over the curb. I think he did leave right about the amount of space I needed, and that was required over there. But I was a bit afraid there that we were going to wheel bang each other off the track. So I took a bit of safety measures and went off the track myself in order to avoid any kind of contact. We will get DRS most likely over here. DRS detection zone, we just passed it, and the DRS activation zone is right here in the slipstream of Vettel, and we have a Ferrari powered engine as well, of course. So no surprises over there. 348 km an hour, slowing it all down for turn 1 nicely, keeping it within the track limits as well. Excuse me. Vettel has a good run out of the first corner. He's gonna try to go on the inside over here. Look at that, just flies by. But Rosberg tries to have a look on the inside. Sorry, the outside as well. We have the inside line. We keep ahead of him, but Vettel could pull away over here, which is something I don't want, so I'm going to push very hard here, trying to keep up with him. Obviously there, but yeah, those guys around us just have so much more pace, so much more grip as well to into these corners. So over there, bit of a corner extension again here too. I'm trying to push, but picking up too much understeer. There's not really a lot I can do about it. Obviously I can drive slower, but I don't really want to do that. I'm trying to still look for the limits here on lap 4 of this 27 lap race. We at least picked up DRS on Vettel, so that is something good. towards the end of this very same lap, the final 2 corners, the gap is a little bit closer because of the DRS most likely. Rosberg still behind us too. Pay attention to that. I found myself pretty quick in the final sector, by the way. I think that was also the sector in qualifying where I didn't lose as much time as in the first and second sector. Opening up the DRS over here, we'll get a run in and a move in on Vettel for the inside of the first corner. A bit of a lock up there. Vettel nicely still around the outside. We see some good racing here today, has to be said. Vettel having a better run out of the first corner because he had the outside line and could get earlier on the power. And we have to wait again. But you know, I don't want to wait. You know, I want to be ahead because I know that is so quick in the middle sector. Rosberg here having a look on the inside of this corner. He backs out of it though. It's good because thanks to that we don't battle all too much, and I can keep up with Vettel a little bit. Whereas if we would battle, it would cost me time and Vettel would escape. This is a much better middle sector for us this lap. You can visually see the gap is a little bit less than it was before, but again you can see on the exit of the corners the Ferrari ahead of us just pulls away, and let's not mention Hamilton because Hamilton has got a massive gap, and the victory of this race seems to be completely within our not within our reach, so to say. Rosberg on the outside here is gonna try to do the same as Vettel. Cannot do it though, close the door firmly. Here's where I gained a little bit of time on Vettel. Ooh, that was perfect. I cut the corner not too much, but the way I did cut it was brilliant because it wasn't too much. We gained a little bit of time over here there, and then these final 2 corners is usually where I gain some more time, so it looks like we are a little bit closer than we were last lap. We should get another move in on Vettel. 2 more laps until we get into the pit lane as the pit window is then open. We'll see what the rest of the field does, of course, on the inside of Vettel once again though for the first corner. Slowing it all down to second gear, trying to get the front end to turn in. And this time we do make the move stick. We are also then ahead of Vettel. Bit of a buffer straight away because Vettel had a slow getaway out of the first corner because we were battling. Gap to Hamilton is 8.6 seconds after 7 laps already. Hamilton flying at the moment, nothing I can do, and I'm pretty sure that the 2 cars behind us are capable of running similar pace to Hamilton, whereas I am just about a second lap slower, probably even more. And then over here I decided to what was I trying to do? I don't know actually. Maybe trying to inform pit window or look for the weather forecast, and because of that I just did not pay attention at all for the long left-hander, and Rosberg almost came sweeping by, so it was a little bit of a wake-up call. There we go, finally finding the button. But the window opened this lap, and as you can see on the minimap, Vettel was the first one to get into the pit lane in fact, so he may go for an undercut. Because Hamilton is in the pit lane though, Rosberg cannot go into the pit lane and has to wait. I was looking in the mirrors the whole time on the pit entry, of course, trying to see whether Rosberg would pit, and I'm just gonna follow Rosberg's moves basically. I have to finish ahead of Rosberg if I wanna have a bigger chance of winning this championship. Up to which mixture. And skipping to the end of lap 9. High pressure from Rosberg again. I presume it's going to be the same for the whole race pretty much, because Rosberg has just got better pace than us. He cannot really get by. A bit of oversteer moment here. Of course the rear tires are starting to wear and the traction becomes less. The result again, a bit of sliding through the corner. We go into the pit lane right here. Rosberg follows us though. Make sure you get the pit entry right, which we do so. Little oversteer there. Trying to take as much speed into the pits. So 80 kilometers an hour, Rosberg in the mirror there, you can see him finding his pit box. We're going to do so here as well, as Hamilton already flew by. I'm going to be interested to see where Vettel is, whether Vettel can overtake us. I do think so because he had the undercut, but we are being held up in the pit lane. It's going to feed us out behind Rosberg and possibly behind Vettel as well. Here comes Vettel down the start-finish straight, and indeed Vettel completely flies by. Lap 10 of this race, we were joined in P4, so not a good pit window for us at all. Vettel has jumped us, Rosberg has done so as well. And the remaining 17 laps of this race, we're gonna have to fight a little bit harder. But first, let's try to get Rosberg back. That is the first step. That is also the most important step in my opinion, because he is such a rival in the championship battle. So down this straight, we should get DRS on Rosberg. You can see going up the ridge mixture, trying to get another move in, because I know if I wait too long, Rosberg is most likely going to disappear. And we go on the inside over here. A bit of a late move from me there. On the inside, Rosberg has got the outside lane. We'll get the inside lane for the next corner. I tried to go for the switchback, which I think can work. I have the inside line for the next corner, but Rosberg had a good run as well. However, he leaves the door wide open. I'm going to take that. Have the outside line for this corner, leaving space on the inside just in case he's there. But it wasn't even needed and almost hitting the barrier over there. That was rather close, has to be said. So we are back ahead of Rosberg, which is exactly what we wanted. But can we also get by Vettel again? That is the question. My mindset right now was to try and close the gap to Vettel. The gap is 2.8 seconds. Rosberg will get the RS, by the way. Let's see whether he can get a move in. It does not look like it, however. No, he doesn't. But the gap to Vettel is 2.8, and let's see what we can do about that. I'm gonna push really hard for the next 3 laps or so, and then see whether I could get him. But as we see, ending off lap 17, Vettel already pits. And honestly, I was pretty happy with the pace. I managed to keep the gap about 3 seconds to Vettel all the time, so he wasn't really gaining on us until lap 14. That is the point basically where I snapped, and I just couldn't keep pushing on that level anymore. Firstly because of the tire wear, but also just mentally, I guess it was a little bit too much. I could not keep on that pace, and I think the gap to Vettel increased a little bit over there. So Vettel already went into the pit lane, but as I said, I'm gonna copy Rosberg his move. Having said that, Hamilton hasn't pitted in the previous lap, I don't think. If Hamilton pits this lap, Rosberg will not be able to pit. If we pit this lap, we'll get an undercut on Rosberg. That would ease the pressure a little bit, because with this gap, as we have seen in the previous pit window, Rosberg still managed to fed out in front of us. So it will be interesting to see what we are going to do. In fact, 17.5 seconds is the gap to Hamilton. Big oversteer moment there once again. Of course, we won't need these tires for a lot longer, so it's basically 100% push level right now. I don't care if I overheat the tires, because we're not going to need them. And I indeed make the move to go into the pit lane while Rosberg stays out. And I think Hamilton is in then as well, judging by the team radio. So Hamilton, yeah, he's already on pit exit. Just on the pit entry. Again, we'll be interested to see where we are going to feed out in comparison with Vettel. Vettel flies by right now. It's about similar, to be honest, as in the first stint, or the ending of the first stint, start of the second stint, however you want to name it. So that is something good. Right now on the prime tire, and I'm gonna have to push on this outlap, because if I don't push on this outlap, we may risk the chance that Rosberg, being in clean air right now, may feed out ahead of us. Obviously though, we are on fresh tires, he is still on worn tires, so that's the advantage we are having right now. And therefore I should think, or you would think and you would assume, that we will be ahead of Rosberg once he pits. So pretty happy with the way things are going. As I said, Rosberg was my absolute focus. Ending off lap 18, opening up lap 19. And you can see on the mini-map, is that Rosberg? It was Rosberg. So indeed we are feeding out in front of Rosberg, just like we expected. Having a little bit of a gap too, because Rosberg, his tires are yet to come up to temperature. That always takes a sector or so. Having said that, with the long turn 3, it is really a corner which warms up your tires quickly, so that's an advantage for the guy who is on cold tires. Several more laps to go. And it does look like we could be able to finish ahead of Rosberg. 3.6 seconds gap to Vettel. According to the engineer, 3/10 quicker per lap. That's good news, but I doubt we'll be able to close up to Vettel. Just like in the previous stint, I couldn't do it. However, this is the prime tire. You never know what's gonna happen. Into turn 3, long left-hander. With a full tank, this wasn't flat out for me. Now it is though, there's some smoke up ahead. There is some smoke up ahead. There was a back marker, I think, there as well. Who is it? Vettel? I think it is Vettel. It was Vettel. Vettel was ahead but disappeared. Nice buck. Vettel disappeared in front of us, and we are up to second place. You can see it on the top left corner of your screen. Vettel, his engine blew, probably something which we haven't seen a lot over the course of this championship season. And the backmarker is still ahead of us, which is a Manor. So it wasn't the Manor which died, the engine, but it was the Ferrari engine from Vettel which died. And honestly, is that lucky? Because we get right now 18 points, Rosberg will get 15 points. We got 15 points before, Rosberg got 12. So yeah, it's still a 3-point difference anyway. So it's not really an advantage, not really a disadvantage, finishing second. So that's good. That probably maybe thinking like, what were you on about? Basically, if you are second, you get 18 points. If you are third, you get 15 points. That's a difference of 3. When I would finish third, in third, I would get 15 points, and if Rosberg finishes fourth, he would finish with 12 points. So that would still be a 3-point deficit. Not like, you know, if I'm gonna finish third, I get 15 points, and Rosberg finishes fourth, he will get 8 points. Whereas if I finish second, I'll get 18 points and Rosberg 3 points. You know, that's an advantage for Rosberg in that case, a disadvantage for us. Talking about Rosberg, he has got a good run on us over here with DRS wide open, of course, and he makes a brilliant move on the inside, brakes really late, and I cannot afford once again to give that place away. So nicely swinging it around the outside, giving a little bit more throttle on the corner entry, just to make sure that they could stay ahead, which we did so nicely. But the time is running out for Rosberg, which is good news for us. 4 more laps to go in this race, almost 4, 5 including this one, but this lap almost finished. .141.9 and a 19.9 second gap to Hamilton. Hamilton hasn't been increasing the gap over this stint as much as he did in the previous stints, I don't think. So maybe we are a little bit better on that prime tire. But I'm not looking ahead, I'm looking behind, I'm looking in those mirrors. Looking at that silver Mercedes car. And whenever he tries to strike, it is up to me to defend it. But this battle may well go down the wire. Bottas ahead, a back marker. Interesting to see Bottas in 19th place, by the way. That's something you don't see every single day. But Bottas not really being helpful for us here. And I think Rosberg flies by. Rosberg does fly by. We both will get the RS though. But Bottas wasn't helping us there at all. We had the dirty air effect, and that meant we were slowing down a little bit, and Rosberg makes the move stick. Now is the time to fight back around the outside of turn 3 though. We know that the AI is usually quicker than us over here. I'm gonna try it though. Keep your foot flat, keep it flat out, and then over here on the inside, don't do it like Raikkonen did though on Bottas, and I definitely learned from that. But Rosberg now got ahead of us, and I have to do everything I can. I have to give everything that I have now in order to get by Rosberg again. 3 more laps to go, including this one. 2 more as soon as we cross the line right about here. But I'm gonna have to give it my all over here if I want to still finish second, because we have lost that position to Rosberg. It was quite unfortunate with Bottas, of course. DRS will be wide open over here, but that Mercedes straight line speed is quite powerful as well. Even without DRS, you can see that we are gaining a little bit over here, but it's not enough. And I know that the Mercedes is quick in the middle sector. Cutting the corner there a little bit has to be said. Wasn't the cleanest race by me by a big margin, because it wasn't clean at all. As we pick up quite a lot of dirty air, you can see the gap increasing. Just trying to push as hard as I can, because I don't want to let Rosberg go. I want to get another move in, but it's so hard to do so, and especially in this middle sector here, he gains quite a lot of time on us. Kvyat in 4th, he will be happy with that for sure. Obviously, yeah. Obviously being happy that Vettel blew up his engine. Last lap of the race though. 6/10 the gap to Rosberg. But it was the same last time round. And in that lap I couldn't do anything either. 1 more lap. 1 more time to give it your all. DRS wide open. 350 kilometers an hour this time. And there we go. That is too much. A warning for corner cutting there, which is a legit warning, and that's pretty much where I snapped. That was the point where I tried too much. At least I tried, you know. You always have to try. But, you know, I have to be honest, I can't do a lot. Rosberg is too quick for me. It's just a shame that we had that, yeah, it's not a coming together or anything like that, but It's a shame that that Bottas was a back marker. He cost me a little bit of time, I believe, in the final sector. And then when you try too hard, this is what happens. You end up with a face full of barrier. As I said, at least I tried. That is something which is always nice to say afterwards. But I said it before, you know, this was the race where I had to beat Rosberg. It was possible, of course it was possible. And I run out of fuel here as well. I tried too hard, I really did. And it cost us in the end. Yeah, I'm gonna say it one more time. It was a shame that Bottas was over there, and you know, I can't complain about it though, because that's racing, and I felt some dirty air in those final couple of corners. Rosberg managed to close up a little bit because of that, but I won't blame Bottas, of course, on that. I mean, it's that's part of racing. Back markers are a part of racing, and yeah, it was quite a hectic race for me because I felt a lot of pressure throughout the whole race, of course, from Rosberg. You don't really feel that when you are watching back, I don't think. But I did feel quite a bit of pressure. So finishing third in the end, but most importantly, again losing points to Rosberg. And again, it are 3 points which we are losing to Rosberg. The championship standings, however, look the following, as our teammate finished in 15th place, Vettel indeed being the only DNF. These are championship standings, 14 points behind Rosberg. Of course, still a lot is possible, but we have to start by trying to turn the momentum in our favor. Next race, hopefully we'll be able to do it. I thank you for watching. If you have enjoyed the video, I would appreciate a like, and that is pretty much it for me. See you next time, and goodbye, take care.